What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and we are making adjustments for today and tomorrow. We are making adjustments for today and tomorrow. So today, got started at 12:40. Tomorrow, we're going to live stream between 12 and 12:15. I have some incredible meetings. Going through a little bit of a merger, acquisition, big bonuses is on the line. Listen, I know that there are YouTubers and content creators out there that say that we should not be working to get extra income because it's active income, and active income isn't as important as passive income. But then my question is always, well, how do you get to passive income if you don't first leverage your active income in order to do so? What is the money supposed to come out of the air? The meeting went incredible. First part of a 2-part meeting. Meeting went incredible. So I thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. I was going to do the early live stream at 10 o'clock to 12 Eastern, but I decided to do it late afternoon because some people have been contacting me and they said, Anton, we on the West Coast. And if you do it at 10 a.m., then that's going to be 7 a.m. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. So today and tomorrow, we are going to be doing some adjustments and making sure that we stream a little bit later. And then on Thursday and going forward, we're going to get back to our normally scheduled time at 11 a.m. All right. So just making sure I keep you guys up to date. We are going to still do the work. We still never miss, and we're going to still run it up. What's going on to my friends and family out here in the chat? Can I get a check to see where y'all checking in from? Let me know what city y'all checking in from. I don't care if you're here in the United States. I don't care if you out of town. I don't care where you at. Let me know where y'all checking in from. Jamal said he liked this time. Y'all like this time better? I don't know. I kind of like the morning. This is like the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? I like the morning better. Yeah, you like a sandwich, you get bread on both sides. I want all the money. Let me know where y'all checking in from. Dallas is in the building. DMV, ATL, shouted. Charleston, Atlanta, Cinco, Ohio, Cincy, Ohio, NYC. What up, Messi from heaven? Oh, Jersey, Orlando, Los Angeles, Harlem, DC, Dallas. Oh, it's going so fast right now. NYC, Brooklyn, Lake Charles, Louisiana, Kuwait, Mexico, Falls Church, Virginia, STL, DMV, Montgomery, Alabama, Pretoria, South Africa. Shout out to the ruler of Zamunda out there. Baltimore, Chirac, San Diego, H-Town, Chicago, San Antonio, Memphis, Florida, Goonville, Chattanooga, Pensacola, Youngstown, Ohio in the building, Montreal, Shreveport, San Diego, Cleveland, the Netherlands with Whoopi Rock out in the building, South Florida, Naptown, Kentucky, St. Louis, Houston, Belize, New Orleans, Rosedale Park. Shout out to my Detroit Brads. You're in. What up, though? Seaside, Cali, Booty Land. ATL, Ottawa, Ontario, Vegas in the building. How's F1 out there? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Hammond, Indiana, Ohio, Tallahassee, home of, what's my man name? Y'all know who he is, Mr. Autotune. Detroit, my baby. What up, Miss Lady J? Scottsdale, PG County, Philly, the Bronx, Fort Wayne, Indiana in the building. Shout out to all of my people all across the United States of America and the globe itself. I love you guys. I appreciate you. You guys are the best audience. Also, we had a great show last night. They kept me up to 1:30 a.m. Eastern. And then I had to get right back up at 4 o'clock in the morning. No. Anton got two. I operate on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings off roughly somewhere between 2.5 to 4 hours of sleep, depending on what week it is, because I had to get up super early to make sure that my presentation is tight. Because, see, you don't just show up to work when you're in a certain position, right? You don't just show up to work when you're taking care of business. When we prepare for this show, we work before the show comes, and we work after the show to make sure that you guys get the best product possible and make sure that we add value into your lives, right? We also got to make sure that we update the Patreon. We got to make sure that we preparing for what's happening in corporate America. We got people that work for us on this end. We got people that work for the web development company. We got to check in on what's going on with real estate. So we have a lot to go off of. And so even though I'm lit and I'm getting it in, I even had to change my diet. I can't drink the same thing that everybody else drink no more. I literally had to give up meat. The only reason, let me tell you, the only reason that I work out, and then we're going to get started with the show. Let's get it popping. Shout out to Lester. The only reason that I work out or I change my diet is because I don't have no choice in order to continue to run at the rate that I'm running as far as the productivity. I'm always busy. I'm always going. I always got something going on. And so, you know, you have no choice but to make lifestyle changes in order to still, you know, optimize the way that you'll be able to run, right? I gave up meat. Yep. I gave up meat. I did. I only drink water now. I do get a tropical smoothie. I make sure I get my tropical smoothies in. I can't have the sugar slowing me down because it'll crash me out at the end of the day. Yeah, man, I got to make adjustments. We got to make adjustments. We want to be rock hard all the time. Listen, we're going to continue to run it up. We're going to make lifestyle adjustments. We're going to continue to make the changes in order to make sure that we running the bag up. Let me make sure that I acknowledge the people that held me down early in the morning. Shout out to Mike Jones. Oh, hold on. Shout out to Mike Jones in the building. Mike Jones says, good morning, Anton. Finally able to catch you live. My work schedule changed. The interview with the alderman from Chicago was dope. The only problem I had was when she called Brandon Johnson a strong mayor, I almost spit out my coffee. Let me tell y'all something. When people come up on the platform, because we have a lot of interviews and stuff that's lined up, and shout out to my dog Mike Jones for supporting the platform. When people come up on the platform, my job is not to modify their speech or anything like that. If I disagree with them, I'll say I disagree with them, but I don't have smoke for people that interview with me. As an interviewer, my job is to get the information and then let you guys determine what you want to do with it. So she said what she said. She said what she said. Now, some of you may disagree with her. Some of you agree with her. I'm thankful that she even had the courage to come up on a platform, unlike a lot of these other politicians. But she said what she said. So it's for you to take the information and make what you want out of it. And I am just the one that allow people to have the platform to say what they want to say and then get the information for you guys to digest it. All right. So shout out to the alderman. I love Tiffany. Well, not Tiffany. Jeanette. Tiffany. Tiffany. Shout out to Tiffany here over in Dalton. I love Jeanette. Shout out to Jeanette. That's my girl. And she plans on coming back on the platform. Maybe she'll take some Q&A in order for you guys to be able to answer some questions, right? Shout out to you, Mike Jones. Also, let me give a shout out to Sammy Danko in the building. Says, fortunate to live in the greatest country in the world, Anton Daniels, changing lives out here. Need that Patreon meetup in Miami again. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. Quick Octane says, morning, bro. Shout out to you, Quick Octane. I appreciate you. Eric Harris is in the building. Says, church finally started, and there will be no other speaker other than Pastor Anton Daniels. Y'all got to start showing some love and appreciation for the people that come on a platform, whether you agree with them or not. The fact that they show up should be something for you, right? We're not always going to agree, but we definitely working on it. Without question says, great interview with the alderwoman. Thank you, my friend, and I appreciate you for contributing into the platform. Hey, Anton, who was you on the phone with? I have no idea what you're talking about. Messy. Shout out to Messy in the building. P. Shank in the building says, Mr. Anton Daniels, did you review the clip of the Grammy-nominated gospel singer was put off on a plane because she refused to stop singing? So you know what? Rita sent that to me, and I am reviewing that today. So that is coming out today. That is the video that is coming out today. I am reviewing that this afternoon. I promise y'all, I'm going to have it out there. I do not agree with that woman at all. DJ Kane in the building says, in my Ric Flair voice, you talking to the Rolex wearing, bag chasing, real estate mogul, bless up this morning. Shout out to DJ Kane in the building. Miss Crow T. Shetty said, I'm going to drop this off in the collection plate for you. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you. Henny in the building. Henny in hip hop says, the more I become a middle-class citizen, the more red my views become. Let's make America great one more time. Vote Trump. Hey, we want you to be upper class over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me also give a shout-out to a couple of Cash Appers in the building. I never want to forget my Cash App family. I got to get that emoji or whatever it is that I'm putting together in order to make sure we highlight the people. Let me give a shout-out to my dog, Mike, that dude. True to myself in the building. I appreciate you, Mike, that dude. Also, Sean Cook says, for the Millionaire Morning Show, thank you for the fireball, Sean Cook. I appreciate you, my friend. I think I got a PayPal over here that I need to acknowledge also before we get started with the show. Because, you know, I gotta highlight my people. They said that we shouldn't be getting cash apps and super chats and all of that. Let me give a shout out to Benjamin Jefferson. I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you for holding me down. And then Martin Meck is in the building. Shout out to Martin Meck. Martin Meck says, chasing the bag. You can never stay sad. God bless. God bless you too. Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, listen. First and foremost, you definitely want to tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, get that Teej Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. This live stream is sponsored by Teej Hanley, making sure that the bag comes in every single month on time. On time. Shout out to Teej Hanley. And let me give a shout out to Q and all of my panelists from last night that held me down. You guys were absolutely, positively awesome last night. If you did not watch the live stream from last night, make sure you do so. My dog Suber is in the building. I ain't seen Suber in so long. Suber says shout out to the Chasers. Also, shout out to Les for that head kick last week. Les was beating people down. Did y'all seen that on my profile? And that mug went viral a little bit, right? Right after I tweeted it. But anyways, let's get to it, y'all. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. We got a little bit of a late show today, but we definitely going to do the work because we don't miss. Jeweled and Alchemy Soap Company. We're definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. But first, we got to get to the quick hits. Quick hits, ladies and gentlemen, that is new to the platform. Quick hits is an opportunity for us to break down different things that is happening out here in these streets, man. But it's not necessarily worthy enough for us to actually do a whole segment on it, right? So we just going to break down the quick news for y'all that's out here in these streets trying to understand where the money at. Let's get to it. So first and foremost, R. Kelly. Kels is suing. Let me get this right. I want to make sure that I got all of my information correct. R. Kelly is suing, and he filed a lawsuit against the Bureau of Prisons staff for the leak of his personal information before his Chicago trial. Now, I heard that R. Kelly, and I seen an actual viral video of him singing. He looked like he having a good old time inside of prison. Am I off? Is it just me, or does R. Kelly look like he having a great time in prison? But he's suing, and justifiably so. We may not necessarily agree with whatever it is that he was convicted of. We may not necessarily agree with how it is that he was rocking out with Aaliyah and all of this other type of stuff, right? It's a lot of people on the different sides of the fence. And I know it's a lot of people still listening to The Chocolate Factory. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of people that's listening to TP2.com. It's a lot of people still listening to R. Kelly's music and catalog. They may be doing it in secret because they don't want you to know. They don't want that smoke that come along with it. But let me tell you something. Kel said, I'm tired of all of my information, and I don't feel like I got a fair trial. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he got a fair trial either. I don't agree with what he did, but at the same time, we live in the United States of the Americas. The United States of the Americas. And then in the U.S. of A, it's innocent until proven guilty. And we have laws and courts that put us in a position to be able to reasonably defend ourselves, hopefully, right? But he's filing a lawsuit, and he said that the Chicago trial of R. Kelly has been over for months. But on Monday, a lawsuit filed by with the U.S. District Court of Northern Illinois alleged personal details about the R&B star were leaked by staff from the U.S. Bureau of Prisons beforehand, and it was. He had every right to be able to be confident, thinking that the Bureau of Prisons would protect his information and not exploit. But unfortunately, certain Bureau of Prison officers did just that. The lawsuit filed against the federal government and the Bureau of Prisons and a blogger. He is also suing Tasha K. He is suing the U.S. Bureau of Prisons and Tasha K. Tasha K just can't catch a break. Maybe she Teflon Tasha. I think that Tasha K must Tasha K got something happening out here in these streets to where she got all of the information. She can find out what's going on before y'all all find out what's going on. And she get more lawsuits than a tabloid. More lawsuits than a tabloid. Remember when Tasha K had leaked the information about what was going on with R. Kelly and all of his stuff that then he's alleging that he didn't get a fair trial as a result of it? Well, R. Kelly from prison is deciding that he wants to sue Tasha K along with the federal government. And he's saying that Latasha Kebe or Tasha K alleges Kelly's personal information and calls, including calls to his attorney, were monitored and shared, impacting Kelly's ability to defend himself. He does not feel comfortable to this day talking to anyone, even his own lawyers, because of the impact of this event. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You can release phone calls to the general public. That's just two regular people. But you cannot release information or phone calls or video when you're talking to your lawyer. That is the difference. If you are talking to your lawyer or you are speaking based off of things that are legal, then you should not, and again, I could be wrong. I am not a lawyer. Maybe I need to call the lead attorney on this one. You cannot leak somebody's personal information to the general public as a prison officer. He also said two of Kelly's sisters who live outside the Chicago area spoke with ABC 7 virtually on Monday. Says you listen to the personal phone calls, you listen to the recordings. That's not right. That doesn't sit well with them at all. If they do it to him, they could do it to anyone else. It's time for a change in our judicial system. It's time for change, said Cassandra Kelly. And Kelly is currently serving a 20-year sentence out of state for producing child porn and enticing a minor in sexual activity. He is appealing that conviction, as well as a conviction in New York for sex trafficking and racketeering. All right. So Tasha K, y'all saying that she did God's work. Okay. I'm just a bystander reporting the news, but she definitely got a lawsuit that R. Kelly filed against her. Also, on top of that, There's a counselor, another one. Where were all of these women when I was growing up? I didn't know that these women existed. Another counselor is being hit with a felony and a misdemeanor for grooming. Let me bring y'all up to speed on what's going on with this counselor.
18-year-old in Pennsylvania revealed to his parents he was having a sexual relationship with the middle school guidance counselor. Now she faces multiple charges and is on administrative leave. Trial attorney and former prosecutor Florina Altschuyler joins us to talk about the case. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
I may deep dive into this tomorrow. But I have no idea. Shout out to Hedging Mastermind. I appreciate you for checking in, fam. I have no idea where all of these teachers were when I was growing up. Because it's not right now that we're looking at it as adults. But when I was growing up, I was very much confused because all of the teachers that we want didn't want us. The teachers that we wanted, they didn't want us. Real talk. It says a Pennsylvania middle school counselor allegedly used a field trip to start sexually grooming a student. Bucks County, Pennsylvania middle school counselor has been accused of graping a 14-year-old student, according to local reports and county records. Kelly Ann Chouette, which is 35, which is the woman that's right here on the side of my screen, is facing felony and misdemeanor charges, including 3 counts of having intercourse or sexual contact with a student at school, 1 count of corruption of minors, 3 counts of indecent assault of a person under 16 years old, according to the Montgomery County records. Says she was a counselor at Penn Ridge South Middle School, and the victim mentioned in court documents was 14 at the time of the defendant's alleged crimes. Chouette allegedly began having inappropriate contact with the student on her own home. Chouette alleged sexual misconduct with the student began during a class field trip in the fall of 2022. Afterward, she would frequently call the victim to her office during school hours. Jesus Christ. Suspect and the victim allegedly used school apps like Canvas. Jesus Christ. You got to be kidding me. Use school apps like Canvas to contact each other during the academic year. Looked like he was trying to hold it down. When the school ended for the summer, the counselor and the student allegedly messaged each other on Snapchat, a social media app that allows messages to disappear after a specified period of time. She allegedly had sexual conduct with the student in her car, outside a supermarket, in her home, at the victim's home when his parents were away. Jesus Christ. On Friday, she was placed on administrative leave from the school when the school first became aware of her alleged misconduct in July 2023. While we refrain from making premature judgments about the actions of a staff member facing prosecution, it is crucial to reiterate the district's stance against any inappropriate contact between the school district employee and a student. Such behavior will not be tolerated. Listen, fam. Listen. I have no clue how these snow hares are out here doing what it is that they doing and not actually dealing with grown men. They prefer to deal with younger people, apparently. But I have no clue also where these women were when we were in school, because I was confused as a young man and I thought that I needed some guidance and some counseling at that particular time. But apparently there were none to be had. So I'm sure she's going under the jail. She's going to have a felony on her record. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to keep it in the loop. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Stellantis is offering buyouts on the money front. Now, y'all know that Stellantis recently did a deal with the UAW, right? Along with GM and Ford. And GM's Kentucky plant and Ford's Michigan plants are rejecting the deal that the UAW is presenting to its members. But Stellantis specifically saying that they're offering 6,400 U.S. salaried employees voluntary buyouts as it worked to cut costs amid the transition to electric vehicles and agreeing to a new UAW contract. So that's the thing that people don't understand. On one front, you could say, well, yeah, they won their contract, right? But on the next front, they got to get rid of 6,400 people in order to be able to pay them and continue to invest in their future. It says that the buyouts will be about half the company's U.S. salaried employees and not represented by a union. These are non-union members, which is currently 12,700 people. So they're trying to get rid of half of their workforce. Another 2,500 Stellantis U.S. salary workers are unionized and not being offered the current buyout. So they probably just going to get laid off. Salary employees must have at least 5 years of experience to be offered a voluntary departure package. Employees agreeing to take the incentive will depart before the end of December. Stellantis said that it was taking necessary structural actions to protect our operations and the company and cited preparations for the transition to electric vehicles. He told employees a review of its operations has made it clear that it must become more efficient. Stellantis offered voluntary buyouts to its U.S. salaried employees who are age 55 and over and had worked for the automaker for at least 10 years. Under the UAW contract, the company agreed to offer $50,000 buyouts for veteran production and skilled trades members. It will offer buyouts in 2024 and in 2026 also. So the idea is that they feel like they can't afford to continue to run up the check and run up the bag under the current agreement that they've agreed on with the UAW, along with the investments that they have to make in research and development. And so as a result, they have to get rid of some people. And so now, as of now, they're offering voluntary buyouts, but if they don't get them, I suspect, and this is my opinion, that they will then lay people off if they don't get enough people that's willing to take the buyout. So the idea is this. If you are an employee that's being offered a buyout, you may want to consider it, and here's why. Because they may give you a package and they may incentivize you to do the thing that you were already going to do in the first place. So if you were looking to make a move, now is your time. If you are looking to make a move into a different position, you have a couple months before you can start interviewing, getting yourself in the right position so that you can accept the buyout, get the package, and then still level up at the same time. That's the play if you have the ability to do so. So shout out to you, Stellantis, and everybody else as a part of this Quick Hits. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my friends over on Quick Hits, where we break down the news and we have conversations based off of what may not necessarily be a full-blown article that needs to be reviewed, but we definitely want to keep you in the loop. Thank you to everybody that continue to support the platform. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Listen, again, make sure that you guys get into the Patreon. The link is in the description. At the end of the month, we have the Invest in Your Business series where you pitch me Shark Tank style. Man, I give you $1,000 and $2,000 a piece, up to maybe $20,000, $24,000, maybe even $30,000, depending on if we got enough good pitches. This may go 2 days in a row. Last time it went 2 days in a row, and I funded everybody's businesses. But Shark Tank style, if I love your idea, then I send you the money. I wire it to you before Christmas. You're supposed to use that money in order to make sure that you vet out your business concepts effectively. I also got some new interviews that's coming. That's going to be dope. They're being edited right now. I shot them over the last weekend. I'm shooting some more this weekend. And we got a lot going on inside of the Patreon, so I definitely want to continue to run a checkup with y'all. Y'all say we should get started with the show? Let's really get started with the show? All right. Let's get popping. So I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Thank you for everybody that's supporting the platform. Let's get started. Tasha K is all over the news, y'all. I'm not even going to cap. Tasha K is all over the news. Now, I'm sitting there waiting for the show to start last night, right? Because, we was doing a live stream for the Q show, and it went really, really well. And shout out to all of my people that was on the show. Shout out to my Detroit people that was on the show last night. I have no clue. If Tasha K put out a course, that may be the only course that I would be willing to purchase. Because I have no clue whatsoever how she must got a tiki doll over in Louisiana that she goes to and do some spells on these people to convince them to come on her platform and torpedo their own lives and torpedo their own future opportunities just to be able to gossip on her platform. I have no clue whatsoever. She got the game, she got the riz, she got everything that you can possibly think of to convince these people to come on her platform and do some of this crazy stuff. It's insane. She's the one that took down Derrick Jackson. Had Steve Harvey's wife's ex-husband coming on there gossiping like a chatty patty, pillow talking. And now she got allegedly Will Smith's best friend. Will Smith's best friend is on there gossiping like a gossip girl. And so I seen the preview for it. I said, I got to at least show the people the preview so I can keep people informed of what's going on out here. Here's the question that I asked for you. Skylar Jones says, I'm sure Tasha K pays top dollar for her info. I pay top dollar for my info too. I ain't even gonna cap. I pay top dollar for my info also. But here's my thing. How much money does it take to get somebody to be able to talk about stuff that they shouldn't be talking about, especially with a childhood friend, somebody that allegedly has been the friend of a person since they were kids, before he even got money? And then what would have to happen for that person to turn against you? Let's get into it, man. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is what Tasha K previewed before basically incentivizing people to go over to her platform or her app in order to view the full interview. This is what she previewed.
You looked at my Instagram, you see the hundreds of celebrities that I've done business with, done things with. And during the latter years of our relationship, Will was not my friend. I was his friend. I was around before they had Trey. Jada was the woman that everybody wanted. And Will needed that validation to have that type of woman.
You saw her say that Will Smith had a small dick?
Oh, I am saying to you, if a woman is used to something the size of a baby leg and you come in with a pinky toe, there's nothing you can do to please.
Can we get a pause? Can we get a pause for once? Can we get a pause for 1 second? A huge pause, a May-style pause. For 1 second on this grown man who's supposed to be, now he's allegedly or was Will Smith's best friend since childhood. And this man is over here talking about Will Smith's Johnson and saying that Jada basically had no ability to be able to remain in attraction to Will because Jada was used to being with a baby leg. Boy, I don't even know how to have this conversation. Oh, she said Aunt Jada was used to getting with an Anton from AntonDaniels.com. She want the whole thing, not half of it. Whole of it. All of it. She want that mushroom tip. You know what I'm saying? Want that mushroom tip. Want the soul pole. But that's not the issue. Connie, that's not the issue. The issue is, where is the loyalty? Where is the loyalty? How do you do that? How do you do that? Where is the loyalty, huh? This man sitting there with his whole shirt open, talking about the size of Will Smith's Johnson. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's continue.
And you come in with a pinky toe, there's nothing you can do to please her. You can buy her 80 cars, you can get her 80 private jets. If she's itching for that baby leg, she want that baby leg. You can beat a person so much that they fall into submission.
And who needs enemies when they got friends like you?
Oh, I could tell you what goes on the inside. Everybody else is just speculation.
Somebody told me I made my pictures in the book.
You know, your picture's in the book and your name is in the book. So you're doing some real elegant pimp. I'm blowing you up.
Yo, this is some real snake. Yo, keep y'all grass cut low, 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 low. Keep your grass. Yo, y'all gonna have to watch who's in your inner circle. Trim the people that you got around you. Be careful who you telling your secrets to. Don't hire your friends and family. Make them sign the paperwork and the non-disclosure agreements. Boy, y'all gonna have to get business fad out here in these streets. That's crazy. But see, I already knew that it was stuff that she had to have against him, because ain't no man in his right mind gonna be sticking around with no Jada while she out here talking about how much she loved. Yo, Jada didn't even care nothing about nothing that nobody was talking about and doing. She said, listen, I'ma do what I'ma wanna do when I'ma wanna do it, because what he gonna do? What he gonna do? Let's continue.
Love that. I love that.
You up.
Shout out to Dwayne Martin for out here catching shrapnel. Dwayne Martin out here like, man, I ain't even do nothing to nobody. Dwayne Martin, yo, you ain't heard from Dwayne Martin in years. Yo, the last time I seen Dwayne Martin, I think he was playing a Kyle on the butt of the rim, dribbling the basketball. We playing basketball. Last time I heard from Dwayne Martin, he was over there playing basketball. Dwayne Martin catching shrapnel. Dwayne Martin ain't said nothing to nobody. Now, let me preface this by saying that he's saying it, but how do we know that it's true? How do we know just because he was Will Smith's best friend? How do we know that this is true on the real though? Because this could be a person that's bitter, just saying anything. He could be saying anything because he mad, or he didn't get the check that he wanted, or he felt like he should have got some residuals, or maybe he was interested in Will and Will wasn't necessarily interested in him. How do we know that he's telling the truth? How do we know this, right? We just reporting whatever it is that we see happening. But how do we know that he's telling the truth? We don't know. We don't know. We have no clue. But he's saying it, and so we're going to have to review it because it's on the internet now. You can't take it back.
Murder in there.
Can we get a rest in peace? Jesus Christ. Yo, can we get a rest in peace? Yo, yo, yo. Hold on. We not just gonna skip past that. I need another hat. He said he was murdering them in there. I wonder if it was blood everywhere. He said after this interview, Will gonna have to live in his truth. After this, he said it was blood on the floor, blood in the streets. Oh, dog.
Will was bent over on the couch and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder, like murder. It was murder in there.
Oh, man. mm. And it's chat. Do I need to slow the chat down? The chat going crazy right now. The chat is going insane. Yo, I don't know if this is true. We not just gonna take his word for it. I might have to switch my hat again. I don't know what's going on out here in these streets. I'm gonna have to switch my hat again. Hello? All right, we just gonna leave that there. So if y'all want to go and check that out, you can go and subscribe to Tasha K's app or whatever she got going on over there. I'm not even gonna lie, I might subscribe to the app just to see this. This is better than anything that Jada put in her book, but this is a crazy pause. I don't like the snake behavior. I'm conflicted. I don't even know what color hat to put on right now. I'm so conflicted. I am conflicted. I'm absolutely conflicted about this. And the reason that I'm conflicted about it is because on one hand, I'm like, yo, that's crazy that Dwayne Martin was allegedly killing him in there, had blood in the streets. On the other hand, though, I'm like, yo, but where's the loyalty? And then the last baby leg that we standing on is, how do we know that it's true? How do we know that this is true? Either way it goes, the question that I have for you guys is this, and this is what I want y'all to comment in the chat. How much does this man have to get paid, and what could have possibly happened to him that would cause for him to go on Tasha K and say this kind of crazy stuff? What kind of conversations had to be had, or what kind of backstabbing and any of that had to happen in order for him to go on outside? He gotta have an NDA on him. He probably gonna get sued for his whole life. Somebody got into an argument, somebody pissed somebody off. They said, don't come back. I'ma tell all on you. I don't care. And it went left from there. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe him. I don't know what to think anymore. I'm just confused as you are, but I'm definitely about to read these super chats because I gotta acknowledge the people that support the platform. Jesus. Mid-afternoon show, huh? Jewel Soap Alchemy says, love and blessings to the Millionaire Morning Show and the Bag Chasers. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with me. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, one thing these women don't realize is that there is a little chance that a young boy can keep such a conquest of a woman a secret. I agree. Leave the little boys alone and don't tap in with them. Brittany is in the building, says Will Smith Johnson, a.k.a. Peaky Toe. Man, I don't believe none of that junk, man. Will Smith Johnson. Brittany said, I want you to play it twice. All right. Sammy Danko says, what's your opinion on people financing their phones, laptops through credit cards like Apple Card? I think that those are things that you should just pay for straight out. Yeah, it's sometimes that they will give you a period to where you can pay it with no interest, but that's if you pay it with no interest. The problem with that is that a lot of times they incentivize you to buy more than you normally would because you financing it. What's the difference between that and Afterpay and Klarna and all of this other type of stuff? I don't believe in payments when it comes to electronic devices and phones. Get the thing that you can afford, not the thing that you think that you want. Make it work for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you need all of that. Shout out to Sammy Danko. That's a really great question. Apex Life says, I can't be hearing what I'm hearing, man. No, not the hometown hero. Hey, Philly is down bad right now. Let me give you the extra one. Philly is down bad right now. The Right Insight says NDA lives matters. That's a fact, though. Maybe they be just breaking the NDA now. ABJ's wise, strong, and safe says, in the words of Prince Rogers Nelson, dearly departed, we gather here today. Dearly departed, we gather here today. DJ Kane in the building says, rest in peace to the peach. Optimus Prime is in the building says, with friends like him, who need enemies? Shaking my damn head. Shout out to you, Optimus Prime. I agree. Enforcer 2K9 says, yo, but what is black folks' obsession with proving or exposing somebody as gay? Like, why is that the first thing that we go to? Either small D. I don't know. I have no clue whatsoever. It makes no sense to me. Queen B says, and this is how one got they self-murked. Honestly, yo, in the streets, this junk don't play. Levi Apparel says, no, Jesus, say it ain't so, not the Fresh Princes. Black Beauty in the building says, you think Jada told Tasha to release the hounds? I don't know. I don't even know. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, Anton, the Will story got everybody shook. I don't even want to be nobody friends that's over there breaking backs and taking names. You know what I'm saying? JPO7 says, based on a percentage, how true you think this story is? Probably 100. Probably 100. I don't believe nothing 100% though. I think that there's probably some embellishment. I mean, he did say he was in there killing it, right? Juan Hudson says, Will did do that one movie back in the day, 7 Degrees of Separation. He sure did. Listen, make sure that y'all continue to I don't even know what to say no more. That junk got me all out of my element. I want to get to the money. I want to get to the politics, but I said I got to bring this back to the front of the congregation just to see what the people say. You know what I'm saying? Kenya from Cali said definitely 99%. I don't know. We can't believe everything that we hear. We can't believe everything that we hear. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Henley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift is the live stream link. The link is in the description. Make sure you get to it. What up, Khalil says, I'm gonna be reading that super chat shortly. Let's get into the rest of the show. So, hello, Brooklyn. How you doing? Migrants pulled up. Shout out to Highly Offensive. I'm gonna read that super chat shortly. The migrants pulled up to the Brooklyn shelter, and they said, "Where Jay-Z at? Where is Jay-Z?" Word on the street is, and y'all sent me 2 different videos, so I want to review both of them because I like to use different sources in order to substantiate what it is that we really have going on here, because one of them can skew it a little bit, so we need to use the other one to compare and contrast. But I heard that migrants over there in New York, Eric Adams' Sanctuary City over there, while he over there getting investigated by the FBI allegedly, I heard that migrants over there pulled up to the new tent shelter over in Brooklyn, and they said, this ain't as good as Chicago. Thank y'all for sending me this story. Let's get into it, y'all.
Confusion and frustration at New York's newest emergency migrant shelter after a group of migrant families refused to stay in the makeshift tent city that's set up to house 500 families. The latest effort to alleviate the ongoing migrant crisis in New York City.
It's not a place where you put women and children.
Over the weekend, as one of the city buses dropped off families, NBC New York capturing the moment some turned around, refusing to stay. This family saying the Brooklyn shelter is just too far from their children's school miles away.
These individuals who decided to leave, people criticizing them for not wanting to stay there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that people took one look at the setup and decided that it would not work for their family.
A spokesperson for Mayor Eric Adams saying in a statement, quote, "We have used every possible corner of New York City and are quite simply out of good options to shelter migrants."
Let's stop there for a minute. Let's really take this into consideration. Let's take this in. Let's consume it. Let's not jump to conclusions. Let's first process. Let's process what's going on here. You know, there's so y'all know ain't no real estate over there in New York. They fighting over air rights over in New York. I don't even know how New York decided that it wanted to become a sanctuary city in the first place. There is nothing. And when I say nothing, New York is one of the rare places in the world. London, New York, Tokyo, so on and so forth. In every corner, it's owned. People own little small spots on the concrete of New York. They own the sewer system. They own a subway station. They building up. They building down. They building side to side. No space in New York. I had no idea why they decided to become a sanctuary city in the first place. But they did it, right? They did it. Okay, cool. No, don't send them to Detroit. Get them on up out of here. And they found some spots for them to build this shelter. And these people said, sure, what you think this is? I'm halfway even believing the idea that they came from the jungles over in Venezuela. You telling me you live and died to get here. You got bussed over there. They giving you free shelter. And you had the nerve to turn your nose up at it and said, nah, my kids got to go to a closer school. That's crazy. That's insane. I've never heard of such a... As a matter of fact, I just think that they fit right into what y'all already got going on here in America. Y'all know how it is. You too good for everything. You too good. You live in the hood, but you too good to wear anything that's less than $100. Oh, I ain't wearing them. What you giving me something for free? What you think this is? You think that this is a handout? Yes. You know how we do it over here. Listen, I wouldn't doubt it that they even getting EBT cards and food stamps and free food, healthcare. Listen, they don't even pay no taxes. Have y'all really thought about that for a minute? They pay zero taxes, but they're taking advantage of the school system. You know, the school system is basically funded by your property taxes. And most states, I don't know how it is in New York. Maybe it's a little bit different. I've never lived there. In most states, the school system is funded by the people and what they're paying in property taxes. So they come in, get free shelter, free food, free clothes, free housing, free health care, and said, nah, that this is too good. Free education, and said, nah, this is too good. I mean, this is too bad for my kids. Let me see the rest of this, and then we're going to compare.
Going on to say that thousands more are arriving every week, adding to the more than 65,000 migrants in the city's care right now. And there are more than 200 emergency shelters in the city already. The mayor's office agrees more solutions are needed, especially for families. Floyd Bennett Field was supposed to alleviate some of those problems. Instead, some community leaders say it's creating more.
It is a flood zone. Everything has to be brought in. Heat has to be brought in. Bathrooms have to be brought in. The showers have to be brought in. Water for drinking has to be brought in.
A view from above shows the sprawling tent city set up on a remote runway. Inside those larger tents, small cubicles lined with green cots. Migrant advocates have raised concerns about the layout of this facility. The bathrooms are outside the living area.
As a parent myself, I couldn't imagine trying to parent even one child at that location. It's also just extremely isolated.
For those who have been in and seen that new shelter, some say it's just not fit for young children, raising issues.
The nerve. I didn't know that anybody had actually went out and bought their own home or is paying rent or even deserved to be here in the first place. The nerve of you. The nerve of you. To sit here and say that this is not a place to raise children in, yet you sought asylum because you said that the place that you came from was that bad as a result of it. What dimension am I living in? What time zone, what timeline am I living in? Somebody, what are we talking about, man? For anybody that's ever lived in substandard housing, this is miles and miles above what it is that you lived in substandard. Anybody that ever lived in the projects, some of the hoods that y'all lived in, man, I come from Detroit at the worst times. I come from the city at the worst times. I was born in 1982, the middle of the crack era. I have never seen such entitled people a day in my life. Now it's starting to make sense of how it is that y'all communicate on TikTok talking about y'all deserve everything, but you ain't got to work for nothing.
Issue about what they describe as a lack of trash receptacles, baby changing tables, and storage for residents. And pointing out families simply require more from a shelter.
There are plenty of populations, single adults, or adult families that could be housed at Floyd Bennett Field. I'm simply suggesting that this is not a suitable location for families with children.
Who is that woman? Hold on. I need to know who this person is. Who is this lady? Who is this person with this man haircut sitting here telling us what's suitable and what's not for the people? This is how people end up on the streets, man. This is how people end up on the streets, man. I have no idea. I believe in taking what you can get when you can get it and then making lemonade out of lemons. I have no idea what spaces that I'm observing this from and how people are choosing to jump back on the bus once they paid for them to even get over there in the first place.
Not a suitable location for families with children.
The mayor's office saying they're looking into case-by-case scenarios, in particular when it comes to families with small children.
All right.
Seriously? Okay, so let me compare and contrast before I just jump to conclusions and go off. Let me compare and contrast before I jump to conclusions.
The opening of the new migrant shelter at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn did not go as smoothly as some officials had hoped.
Several migrant families that were bused to the facility refused to stay there. They got right back on the bus. Briella Tomasetti at Floyd Bennett Field. What's going on? How is this possible?
Yeah, it is possible, Rosanna and Dan. Clearly, the situation is not ideal here. It's a transit desert. It is far from everything. It's not close to where parents have to take their kids to school. The bathrooms, the showers are outside. A long list of concerns. I could go on and on. But 23 families with children were expected to arrive here yesterday. Not all of them obviously stayed. A spokesperson for the mayor's office telling the New York Post that while some migrants did reject the site, another busload of asylum seekers arrived at around 2:30 yesterday afternoon, and they did opt to stay. Less than an hour after the first batch of migrants arrived at Brooklyn's Floyd Bennett Field, families boarded the bus that took them there and went back to the Roosevelt Hotel Intake Center. City Council member.
Wait. The Roosevelt Hotel and where? Let me back up for a minute.
Went back to the Roosevelt Hotel Intake Center.
The Roosevelt Hotel. Let's figure out what's going on out here. Oh, no wonder that they didn't want to go out there and live on an airfield because y'all been treating them like they've been great. No wonder. I wouldn't want to go either if y'all came over there and gave them everything that they wanted to live in and all of this other. Wait. Tell me that this ain't the Roosevelt Hotel. This where y'all had them staying at? This is where y'all was paying for them to stay at? The Roosevelt Hotel? No way. No freaking way y'all had them staying at the Roosevelt Hotel. Impossible. Have y'all seen this place? This is insane. This look like the Waldorf Astoria. Have y'all seen the inside of this place? Okay, I'll show y'all. See, this is the beautiful thing about this show is that we get right to it. We don't mess around. Give me a second. Let me make sure that I get the right pictures up. This is crazy. Y'all had them staying here? This what we doing now? This how we plan it? This is crazy. That's how they was living. Come on, man. What we talking about, bro? This is where our tax dollars is going. Why would they want to stay out there on the airfield when you've been having them out here in these streets staying at the Roosevelt Hotel? Have y'all seen this place? This is insane, man. Who wouldn't want to live here? Who wouldn't want to live here at the Roosevelt Hotel? Huh? Roosevelt Hotel opens as asylum seekers seek arrival with the, let's see what this was looking at. This is where they was originally getting dropped off at. You know what I'm saying? Why would y'all be spending money to put them in this hotel? Why would they be doing that, huh? This is insane, bro. Really? Wow. They was living like Kevin from Home Alone. Well, okay. Well, I understand why they didn't want to go out there to the airfield because you already spoiled them. I'm getting back on the bus and I'm going, and they dropped them back off at the hotel. That's the crazy part about it. It wasn't like they did not allow them to get back on the thing. They got on there. They was in the middle of the city having a good old time. Good God almighty. What the heck is going on in this city? What's going on in this country? Man, let me get in the office. There's going to be some furniture moving up in here.
To get up to go outside of the tent to use that bathroom.
Floyd Bennett Field was first proposed as a shelter site months ago. The former airfield space is owned by the federal government, but Governor Hochul is footing the $20 million bill. The makeshift shelter has enough room to house 2,000 people, but the proposal was immediately met with intense pushback due to its inconvenient location, lack of mass transit, susceptibility to flooding, and more. Fox 5 toured the site last month. There are 4 dormitories, a tent for registration and for people to connect with caseworkers. Another tent will be used as a cafeteria, but communal bathrooms and showers are set up outside.
This is not, best conditions, but we're managing the crisis, and you cannot say any better that we need help.
Meanwhile, Mayor Adams toured the site last night, doubling down on his calls for more federal assistance. The mayor's office sent out a statement saying, in part, with more than 65,600 migrants currently in our care and thousands more continuing to arrive every week, we have used every possible corner of New York City and are quite simply out of good options to shelter migrants.
So, this is your federal government and your local government at work. Now, I don't absolve Eric Adams of anything because he was the one that was standing on business, and he said that they was always going to be a sanctuary city. Nah, see, you was all cool with it when just a week ago. Just a week ago. Hold on. Let me remind you. Let me remind you. Just a week ago, it was all cool. He said that New York was going to remain a sanctuary city, and he stood on business. He stood on business, and now he backtracking because he feeling some type of way, and now he complaining about it. He was standing on business. I wish I could find that video real quick. Let me see if I can find that video. Let's see if we can find it really, really quick. Because he was standing on business just a minute ago.
Mayor Eric Adams says his administration is crunching the numbers to figure out how New York City can support migrants that were sent from Texas. The mayor and others are accusing the Texas governor of using humans.
Saying that it is a shame that these migrants, they are stuck right in the middle. Mayor Eric.
This is a place where the Statue of Liberty sits in the harbor, and we say, bring us your tide. Those who are yearning to be free. That's what these asylum seekers are doing. And I don't think anything is more anti-American than shipping people on a bus.
This comes after 2 busloads of migrants seeking refuge were shipped to New York City over the weekend from Texas with little warning. Many people, including Adams, greeted them.
Refugee, welcome!
I'm here. Texas Governor Greg Abbott sent around 50 of them to New York City and has been sending thousands more to other Democratic cities in a challenge to the Biden administration's open border policies. After Adams called Abbott's move horrific, the Republican governor this morning tweeting in part, did he say it was horrific when Biden flew plane loads into New York? Nope. Immigration lawyers like Renetta Castro say there is no law that allows Abbott to prohibit these asylum seekers from returning back to Texas. If not, Abbott better have a backup plan.
He has to deal with.
Yeah, backup plan with Chicago. Yeah, I remember when Eric Adams said he was standing on business. He said, I'm standing on business. He said we gonna remain a sanctuary city. He held it down. And he did not pivot. He did not move. And he 100% believed in the cause that he was rolling with. Now you want to backtrack. No, stand on it. Stand on it. Don't move. Don't pivot. Don't make modifications. Don't complain about it. Hold it down. Hold it down. He said this is the city where the Statue of Liberty lives and that we need to make sure that we take care of people. Now you want to sit here and pivot and complain about what's going on in the city? No. Go ahead and do the same. See, I got more respect for Brandon Johnson than I got for Eric Adams. Now, Brandon Johnson is 10 times worse of a mayor as a result of it, but Brandon Johnson is standing on business. Brandon Johnson is standing on business. He said, we not moving, we not shaking. We are going to stand tall on whatever it is that's going on out here in these streets, and we not moving at all. We not moving at all. If you don't want to close the borders, Greg Abbott said, okay, well, and that means that you must want them in your city because as a result of it, we're going to make some adjustments. As a matter of fact, before I read the super chats, let me show you just how much Brandon Johnson is standing on business. He did a Q&A yesterday, last night, right after I got off. I feel like Brandon Johnson and his staff is watching my show on a regular basis. Can we get a round of applause for Brandon Johnson? Brandon Johnson need a coaching session. Make sure you tap into the Patreon, Brandon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Before we read the super chats, somebody said Brandon Johnson. They sent me this video this morning. They said Brandon Johnson yesterday did a Q&A with the media, and he said that he was standing on business as far as the migrant crisis is concerned. So let me share with you what Brandon Johnson said, and then we're going to get to the money right after that. Then we're going to read the super chats right after that. Then I'm going to continue to incentivize y'all to do the thing that y'all want to do. But right now, he said he's standing on business.
Mayor, can you please share some specific steps you guys talked about to address the race?
Now, I have not seen this video. I'm watching it for the first time that you guys are watching it, so we're going to review it together. I've been taking care of business. I've been trying to prepare for what's going on in corporate. You know what I'm saying?
Divisions that have been, heated because of the migrant influx. And, is that, knocking on doors? Is that events? Is that, faith events? What kind of specific steps are you going to take to heal?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that we have to tell the entire truth and the entire story. Because this notion that it's only black people who are concerned about the migrant crisis is not true. That's right. So some of the conversation around this division, there are individuals who want to score political points, to sow these negative seeds, to get us fighting one another. But in order for me to have an entire commission dedicated to reparations, as well as an entire office dedicated to reentry, a dedicated revenue stream for the unhoused, that requires black, brown, and white votes. In fact, the city council has actually demonstrated that even the things that black folks are concerned about, that it turns out that other members of city council agree. Look, the whole impetus behind what's happening at the border is for extremism in this country to plant these seeds of negativity to divide our city. And so what we are doing as a city is what this city did when they elected me, is that we surround ourselves around our values. We speak to our values by passing paid time off, by abolishing sub-minimum wage, which of course is going to benefit black and brown people, and that we're going to continue to do what we do best, and that's organize our communities around the values that make the city of Chicago the greatest city in the world.
Okay. I might be a little slow, but I'm not that slow. Y'all said he having a bad hair day? I might be a little slow, but I'm not that slow. Okay. What I heard was this. I ain't hear nothing but Charlie Brown talk over here. I heard nothing about actually addressing a migrant crisis that was basically asked him directly. What are you doing about it, buddy? How are you solving for it? Why are you letting this to continue to come in? Is it spirituality? Is it principles? What is it? And all I heard was, don't let them divide us, unhoused, and then he threw in a couple other political talking points talking about passing minimum wage laws and all of this and paid time off leave. Man, what are you talking about, fam? What are you talking about, fam? What? You not going to use no big words in order to finesse me? Man, you ain't said nothing. Maybe I'm off. Let me continue to hear what he has to say, and then we're going to go from there. I'm going to be a patient man today.
Mayor, you're here with a number of black pastors, and one of the issues that we've seen...
And it's always the church. The media just called it out for what it is. You're standing here with a bunch of black pastors. How many of y'all, you know what my Wednesday night live stream is going to be? Let me write a note right now. Right now, I'm about to write a note. The church sold you out. I might have to throw a couple of other talking points in there. The church sold you out. He's surrounded by a bunch of black pastors. Let the church say amen. 1, 2. Freddie's coming. Anton's coming for you. 3, 4. Better lock your door. 5, 6. Take your crucifix. 7, 8. I'ma lay them straight. 9, 10. Chicago coming up. Yo, I'm coming for everybody in Chicago that is in a position of leadership that continues to do the thing that's not in the best interest of the people. The pastors, the politicians, the business people, the corruption. We're going to undo 100+ years of corruption in Chicago right here on the Millionaire Morning Show, and I will not stop until I get answers. Why is the church standing behind a political leader when he's being questioned about the migrant crisis over in the city, and he won't answer the people when they then ask him questions about what it is that he's doing in order to solve for the problems that they're having within their own communities? What is going on in the church? God ain't in this. God ain't in that. I'm going to tell you right now, as a person that is studied, as a person that advocates for, as a person that lobbies and is basically an evangelist for the church, as far as I'm always highlighting the great things that God is doing in my life and I'm a reflection of it. God ain't in this. I said it, and tell your pastor I said, what up, though? Tell your female pastor that shouldn't even be on the pulpit in the first place, I said, what up, though? I said it right here, right now. God ain't in this. And if your leader is a woman pastor, then he ain't in that either. That's what the word of God say. You can't modify the word to be something that is not. The pastors. A bunch of black men with receding hairlines and no mustaches is over here supporting this politician that's doing the thing that's bad for the people.
Or not happen is black churches stepping up to take in some of these migrants. Did your discussions today include any discussions about black churches stepping up? And are you asking pastors to do that part in this?
I got you.
You know,
I got you,
The beauty of this moment is that I don't have to ask people
Clown
who are
show.
tethered to a faith that's bigger than a government to step up and do right by people. There are black leaders that are stepping up and leaning in and supporting migrants in this moment. There are black pastors who are stepping up and making sure that the dollars that are appropriated for violence prevention, that the council is prepared to vote for that. You know, the whole work around reentry, Reverend Marshall Hatch has an entire village on the west side of Chicago called the My Alpha Project that is dedicated to making sure that individuals who are formerly incarcerated get another chance at economic security.
But about the migrants, I mean, have you had any discussions?
Press 'em.
What I'm saying is that black leaders in this city have always stood up for what is right. They're doing what they've always done, which is leaning in and supporting not just this crisis, but every single crisis that this city has had to endure. What we don't ever have to debate is where the black church stands when it comes to justice. And this situation is no different. I've answered your question.
I haven't heard you answer the question about whether you.
Which part of my question are you not understanding? What part of my answer that you're not understanding?
You've asked them to step up.
What I'm saying is that they've already done it, is what I'm saying. They've
what?
already done it.
I don't understand where.
You don't understand that they've already done it? Can we move on? Because apparently, I've said it repeatedly, let me just, I'm clear, that black pastors have already stepped up in this moment. Of course, we're having conversations about how the federal government and the state government has to do more. But I wanted to be emphatically clear, because if you're not hearing it, I want you to hear it clear. Black pastors are stepping up as they always have stepped up.
No. The question was, are black pastors, the ones that are surrounding you, are they housing these migrants, and how are they specifically supporting this crisis as it relates to taking in the very people that they say that they advocate for, especially considering that they're supporting you and what it is that you're doing? You're not going to throw a bunch of words in front of me and think that you just said something just because I'm a C student. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I asked you. I asked you a direct question as it relates to the migrant crisis. What specifically are they doing? You're not just going to say, well, they stepped up like they always stepped up. Stepped up how? And was it in the best interest of the people? And did they use the church dollars in order to do so that the people are tithing and offering over in there in order? Because I thought we was getting we still got the building fund from 1968. The building fund is still going from 1968, and you're going to sit here and talking about that they stepped up. How? And where's the money coming from? And who took a pay cut? Then how many of them are you housing? And then are you feeding them on top of that? And is that in the best interest of the community and the people? And did they do it for their own people before they started doing it for people that's not even there, that don't even belong there, that came out of nowhere and they don't even know what their background is? I need to know who and what and where and how and why. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's what they taught us in school. Answer every question and please give it to us like a C student. Don't overtalk us. Don't try to throw a bunch of words on top of it. I am curious, what specifically are you doing, and is it in the best interest of the people? You're not going to finesse me. You're not going to finesse me, Brandon.
I do have a different question, but I am going to back off my colleague in saying I think he's just asking how many churches have taken in families. Our churches taking families. That's it.
Sure. Well, a number of them have stepped up, and we're going to continue to push for more of them to step up.
All right, but I do have a question on a different topic. Can you talk a little bit about your pick as the new health commissioner, why she was chosen, and why you believe she will make a better health commissioner than Allison Arwady?
Well, as you know, public health is an important part of my administration, and as I've said repeatedly, our work to pass treatment, not trauma, was an essential part of my campaign, and we've delivered on that promise. Opening up mental health clinics, which were shut down by a couple of administrations ago, that we are obviously moving with expedition.
They're gonna bankrupt the city,
to make sure that public health reaches.
They're gonna bankrupt the city, family.
Neighborhood.
I'm telling you.
Dr. Ige is an incredible human being. Quite frankly, she really imbibes the collaborative, competent, compassionate spirit that I've said from the very beginning that leadership in my administration has to imbibe. And the vote and the confidence that she has from community leaders, as well as key stakeholders that understand that public health has to be, a system of care, that she represents the values in which the people of Chicago want to see.
I genuinely don't
in
like
their
him.
public health commission.
Mayor, in addition to what you said a moment ago about the efforts of clergy stepping up to address the migrant crisis and your calls repeatedly on the state and federal government to step in for help, given all of that, is it time for your office to acknowledge that the city is struggling to address the needs of this crisis?
I don't know which part of my time in 6 months as mayor that we have not acknowledged that we cannot bear the responsibility alone.
Y'all realize that this man has done in 6 months. He's upended this city in 6 months in ways that you know not of. Y'all got 4-year terms over there in Chicago, right? He don't have to worry about no election until he's in the final year of his term, meaning that that's the time that he starts to do the thing that y'all can then say, hey, Brandon did this, or hey, Brandon did that. Because people have a short memory and they're going to forget, right? 6 months. That means he has 3.5 more years to govern you, to balance your budgets, to determine what's an emergency and what's not, to invite more people into the city, to do what he's been doing the whole time, which is a terrible job at being a mayor of Chicago. Y'all got 3.5 more years of this nonsense. That's insane. I cannot believe it. I warned y'all. I had a conversation with y'all, and I was talking about the Safety Act, and I was talking about what was coming in Chicago. And I said, this is who's running, and Lori Lightfoot is doing a horrible job. Beetlejuice. And we continued that conversation. And I said, listen, y'all got this black guy up here, and he got a mohawk, and I'm not feeling him. My spirit is telling me that. My spidey senses is telling me that this is not good. Don't do it, Chi-Town. Y'all said, we going to do what we want to do because we Southside. Okay, all right. You deserve Brandon Johnson. You deserve him and all of their pastors and all of their mohawks and the glory that comes along with it. This is the manifestation of your greatness. You deserve everything that Brandon Johnson has given to you right now. Let's see a little bit more because I can't take any more of this. It's too much slow talking and not enough substantiating your argument in this conversation.
That this responsibility, of course, has placed a tremendous amount of stress on families. That has always
warned
been
y'all.
acknowledged.
But I guess specifically at our juncture now, I mean, we're entering winter months. It's getting colder. I think people are curious about what is the assessment of the proposed base camps. I mean, I don't know that people have seen tents pop up or things happening. So I
We
guess
have
that's
stood up. Yeah, I think I understand your question. I think I understand the second part of your question. Is that what are we doing in this moment?
Right. Is the city moving quickly enough to address this crisis?
Well, look, I've stood up a brand new shelter every single week since I've been in office. That we renegotiated a contract with a staffing agency that I inherited to reduce costs. We put out RFPs for support for individuals who can help manage facilities as well as provide food and support. But what we can't lose sight of is that the plan that I have put forth and I've carried out, that it requires investments from the state and the federal government. I've said that repeatedly.
Translation. Let me give y'all the translation. They don't just want to use Chicago money. They don't just want to make sure that they're raising property taxes. They don't want to just continue to torpedo the budget. They want all of our money. That's what this means. When they say we want federal money, they saying that we hiring these IRS agents in order to go after all of the people in the middle class that's going to be paying the majority of the taxes, and we're going to create a social welfare, the biggest social welfare program ever seen in the history of the United States, as it relates to one particular city. That's what they're telling you. We want all of y'all to participate in what we got going on over here. Not some of y'all, all of y'all. That's what federal dollars mean. It means that it now becomes all of our responsibility to make sure that they get clothed, health care, food, shelter. Let me tell you what's going to happen if I ever become president. The first thing that I'm doing, I'm cutting out all social programs. Listen, if you can't swim, you bound to drizzle. If you can't swim, you bound to drizzle. We going to get the budget right. We going to operate at a surplus and not a deficit. We going to pay down the national debt. We going to stop printing money. We going to lower inflation. It's going to be some, listen, when I become president of the United States of the Americas, the first 3 years, it's going to be tough. It's going to be some gnashing of teeth. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Listen, give me 10 years. Give me 10. If I'm still alive in 10 years, I'm coming and I am upending. Listen, mark my words. They're going to replay this today. I'm going to upend everything that y'all did wrong. I'm going to change it around in 3 years. It's going to be some starving. Ain't going to be no EBT cards. Everybody going to be suffering. Everybody, listen, because you're going to have some uncomfortable moments in order to get to the other side. Listen, you know what it's like? Right now in the United States of America, we dope fiends. Let me get this man off of my TV. Right now in the United States of America, we're dope fiends. We're dope fiends. Meaning that we just can't get off the needle. We still got that monkey on our back. Still got that heroin going through our veins. Still trying to wean off of it by making sure that we can get a little bit of fentanyl mixed with horse tranquilizers. Y'all dope fiends. We on a sugar high. We're on a sugar high. That's what we are. My campaign, my slogan is going to be some gnashing of the teeth out here in these streets. In order for us to get back on track, we're going to have to derail this thing. And we're going to have to put y'all back at ease, soldier. It's going to be some suffering, some slow singing, and some flower bringing out here in these streets. I'm telling you, you bound. Yes, Kobe, you bound to drizzle. And if you can't swim, we just going to weed you out. Ain't no migrants going to want to come over here. Nope. Ain't going to be no social programs for you to get on. Listen, reparations, dead on arrival. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I'm not giving you a dime. You ain't getting no EBT. Listen, when I get in office, you got 8 months. Whatever it is that you're doing, you got an 8-month head start. Everything getting cut off after that. You better enroll in school. You better figure it out. You better go and get it together because all of the money is going to go into the right places. We're going to balance the budget. We're going to lay people off. Yes, I'm going to be laying people off from all of these federal offices, IRS staff, done with. Smaller government coming to a city near you. Transportation secretary laid off. Everybody getting laid off. Everybody getting laid off. We can't afford you. We're going to run this junk just like a business. We're going to streamline it all the way to its core. If we don't need you, you're going to have to learn how to create a job for yourself. Go ahead and show me how you start your own business. We're not incentivizing you to do nothing. No more tax breaks, no more nothing. No more nothing. We going to reinvest in our communities. We're going to reinvest into the police. We're going to build up our infrastructure. We're going to make sure that we have the best education, the best public transportation. And if you can't innovate, then you out of here. You up out of there. We going back to 1950. 1950, where people dressed up to go to the baseball games. 1950. Yes, we are. Watch me run for president. Watch me get there. I'm going to get there. Let me go ahead and read. Let me read some of these super chats. It's going to be over for some of y'all. What up, Khalil says, Will Smith, bad boy for life in the building. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep, we getting there. Highly offensive says, it's got to be obvious August was their boy. Oh, my God. Epex Life says, how many times did he say murder in it? He said it a bunch of times. Brittany says, modern migrants? We want high value tents. Queen V says, I wonder if the men will be forbidden to be in the home to get assistance, like Black Family Unit accepted, not the immigrants bougie. Not the immigrants is being bougie, Queen V. Yeah, we going to continue to run it up. Kenya from Cali says, you said when Dreda dropped her book, she was probably trying to get out in front of something. Apparently, it was the blood that was leaking down on the floor. J-Dub says Thanos was right all along. I said Thanos was right the whole time. I said it. Ron Moon in the building says avoided jail after illegally crossing the border, but making demands on Americans to provide free luxury housing. Hashtag pull yourself up. Hashtag bootstraps. No, they going back to the hotel. We getting the hotel, motel, holiday inn. If your girl start acting up, then you grab a friend. Or should we do the Cassidy version? Ron Moon, shout out to my dog Jay Ben is in the building, says swap them out for Caribbean and African folk. I don't know how many stories of I walk 50 miles a day to get to school I've heard. They don't even complain out here in these streets. Shout out to my dog Jay Ben in the building. Jeremy H says 4-star hotel got a lot of empty projects in the DMV. Send them over to Baltimore. Right Insight says NYC paid the Roosevelt $225 million to house the migrants for 3 years. Oh my God. Somebody out here bag chasing. Kevin Reviews Plus says, do like Texas, either deport them or release them with an asylum court date. Cheapest option. They all coming out of your tax dollars. Juwan Caldwell says Brandon Johnson equal Aubrey James, Gotham City mayor. Why would anybody vote for a 47-year-old man who chooses to rock a non-groomed fro hog? That's a fact, though. Aaron is in a, Aaron got to be catty. I know he's going to say something crazy. Can we talk about the trash Pistons? Where the other day, Drummond put up a double-double on y'all off the bench. Y'all got destroyed. That's a fact, though. I'm going to give you that one, Aaron. He also says, Anton, if you try that as president, you'd be riddled with scandal. They put you in an AI pick with Dwight Howard. Eric Harris is in the building, says AD for 2024. Nah, we're going to go in 2032 up in these buildings. Yeah. JC says Vivek said he'll let 75 of the government workers go. We do need some layoffs in the government. Y'all keep trying to get y'all student loans forgiven. That's why y'all working for the government in the first place. We going to get there. Look, man, speaking of workers, they say Canada is stealing all of the best workers out here in these streets. Let's get to the money. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's run it up, y'all.
The H-1B visa program is essential for bringing qualified technical capability into the country.
We need to bring Americans back into the workforce and reform existing programs before we expand immigration.
If 2 million more immigrants came to the U.S. each year, we could reverse our predicted population and productivity decline.
After decades of deliberation surrounding U.S. immigration policies, high-skilled tech workers are looking towards a new country, Canada.
Many warn that if the U.S. doesn't find a way to bring in more of the world's best talent, other countries like Canada will.
Canada. How many of y'all are familiar with the tech world or jobs over in Canada? I love my Canadians. Shout out to Toronto. I love my Canadians. How many of y'all are familiar with what's happening over there in Canada? Y'all know anything about Canada? Canada has such a low population considering how big that country is, and it's so cold up in Canada. But in the summertime, I heard that y'all popping. I heard y'all got some fine baddies up in Canada. Let's continue on with the show.
Has launched a new initiative to attract this talent, as well as so-called digital nomads and skilled American workers.
But how did we get here? And how does a country that is home to the world's biggest tech companies lose thousands of highly skilled workers to Canada? We spoke with several foreign tech workers and immigration consultants to uncover the story of how the U.S.'s bureaucratic visa process pushes workers north.
It is very stressful. Every single year, the stress increases.
It's not straightforward. It's very convoluted. And you have queues and queues.
Your ability to even
work in the country and contribute to the country is just going to depend on a lottery.
I coach a lot of people that basically are people that are coming over into the country with a visa or is trying to get over into the country, and then they make a pivot maybe over into a different country because it's so difficult for them to be able to source jobs here based off of the immigration policies and the work policies. And I'm not familiar exactly what they are, but we're going to learn today. We're going to have a conversation about it today.
H-1B visa is a non-immigrant work visa that allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations.
H-1B visa is a non-immigrant work visa that allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations. So, such as program managers, software engineers, cloud infrastructure, data analysts, whatever jobs, cybersecurity, so on and so forth, right? All of these jobs are jobs in which they're basically importing the best talent, and a lot of times that comes as a result of the fact that they can't find enough people to fill these high-tech, high-paid jobs that they have over here in the United States of America. Let me say it again for the people in the back. It's cheaper for a company to actually hire here in the United States of America, but often at times they have to expand their job search outside of the United States of America. And y'all also got to understand that when these companies, these larger companies are then paying for, and then ultimately sometimes they even hire in, most of them are contracted out. Meaning that they're paying a higher rate, a higher hourly rate for a specific worker to come in and do the job that they need for them to come in and do based off of the direction that the company is going. Let's continue.
Specialty occupations require an area of expertise and at least a bachelor's degree or its equivalent. These jobs often include high-skilled workers in tech. Since its creation in 1990, Congress has limited the amount of H-1B visas available each year. The current cap is 65,000, with an additional 20,000 made available for graduates of an American university with a master's or doctorate degree. Because the visa is sponsored by an employer, holders who lose their jobs have 60 days to find a new job, transfer their visa status, or face deportation. Shiva Cole is from India, but came to the United States to study in 2013. She started working at Microsoft in 2018, who sponsored her H-1B visa.
I was lucky enough for the first time, but I've had friends who've had to apply multiple times and friends who did not get selected or picked up in the lottery at all.
Getting an H-1B visa has become increasingly competitive. In order to get approved, an employee has to be sponsored by their employer and then go through a rigorous application process. Once vetted, they are entered into a pool of applicants who are randomly selected for a visa. Harnoor Singh, a software engineer that has a bachelor's and master's degree from Georgia State and is an H-1B visa holder, knows all about this.
I have been in the lottery 3 times, and it took me 3 times to get accepted in the lottery. For the first year, I wasn't accepted. For second year, I wasn't accepted. It was very stressful because if things don't work out, you have to leave the country.
So the idea of it is that you're basically sponsored by the company in order to be over here to work and make money and then be able to use your skill set, which is highly valued, very technical, very capable. And this is a process that they're leveraging in order to get the best and brightest from other countries to then come over here and work in the United States of America. That's basically what it is. To get the best and brightest from other places to come over here and work in the United States of America. Well, number one, again, you have to take into consideration that if they are willing to source talent outside of the United States, how much of a shortage is there in the United States? How much of a shortage is there in the United States, considering that they have to go outside of the country in order to find the best and the brightest to continue to participate in the workforce? It's a lot. It's a lot. There will never be a shortage of high-tech jobs that is available for the people that have the skill set to do so. You can always fall back on your skill set if things don't work out and other things that you got going on. It's a massive shortage. A massive shortage.
If things don't work out, you have to leave the country.
In 2021, nearly half of the eligible registrations received a selection for the random drawing. But for the upcoming 2024 year, out of the 758,000 registrations received by the government, only 188,000 were selected for the final random drawing, meaning less than.
So the real thing that we need to take into consideration is, are you being outcompeted? Are you being almost 800,000 eligible registrations were applied for 2024. Only 188,000, which seems to be the highest since before 2021, were accepted. Can you compete is the question. Can you compete is the question. A lot of people are not familiar with the executive recruitment process. I've been through it multiple different times, and it's a very, very interesting process, right? And one of the things that happens for the process is that for the executive recruitment firm, if they decide to hire you, they have to pay them a fee. They have to pay them a fee. It's not true, Connie. That's not true. When I took a specific position at certain points in my life, they had to pay a massive amount of money. And when I say massive, I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars in order for me to then become an employee for that particular job. Even so much so, the number was so high, but they paid it. And I've returned the value tenfold, probably way more than that. I've saved that company so much money. I've given so much innovation over in that company, and they love me for it. They loved me for it. Now, remember, they have to pay so much money that they even tried to circumvent the process by then saying or having a conversation about the possibility of me applying separately outside of, even though I was recruited to come there. That's how much they had to pay as a result of it. It's crazy. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in one fee just for you to be hired into the company, and then you have to show your worth after that. You have to show your worth. You have to give them a return on your investment, and so they're incentivized to put you in the best position possible because you are now an asset to the company. You are now an asset to the company. Let's continue.
25% received a visa, and thousands were turned away. Once someone receives an H-1B visa, they'll face a number of restrictions.
I've been living here for a decade. I've been paying my taxes since my student years. I don't have the same level of rights that a person who's from the States would have, but I have the exact same and even more number of duties. Since you're not a citizen and since you don't have a green card, you can't even work at a Subway.
Because you're restricted with your visa status in the US, you don't even have flexibility to move around. You don't really have flexibility to change jobs. Plus the green card process, which is the pathway to permanence in the US, is a very, very tedious and a long one.
So they have to, now think about this, and it's a reason why I'm playing this video for y'all right now. They cannot get a second job. The only thing that they can do is they can work at the job that they're then sponsored for to come over here and work for in order to make sure that they feed their families or they make as much money as possible. They cannot work a second job. You can't go out here and go and get a Subway job. You can't go and work McDonald's your part-time. You got to grind. You got to hustle. You got to make that work, and you got to work that job, and you got to get it. And then the pathway to becoming a U.S. citizen is a long and tedious process. Now, here's the key. Here's the caveat. While they're over there going through the process and doing it legally, because I'm not against immigration, I'm against illegal immigration. You have a set of people that is just walking right into this country, having children on U.S. soil, their children then becoming U.S. citizens, and then they're getting visas and work visas and work permits in order to be able to make money over here in the United States of America. The tale of two worlds.
Are at the will of their employer. They cannot change jobs or work side gigs. The spouse or child of the holder also cannot work without applying for employment authorization.
So you have highly educated spouse that are just, sitting in the U.S. not able to work. Sometimes they're PhD holders that are just staying home because they can't even work.
A natural way to get past this bump is to apply for an employment-based green card. But for holders like Shiva who come from highly populated countries, the backlog is longer than her lifespan.
It's painful because all that's left between me and that green card is one piece of paper. That is the last step of the green card. And because there's a backlog, that's why I can't get to that. There's no other.
Now, how is it a backlog, but we're basically opening up the borders to let people come in as asylum seekers, not as illegal immigrants, but as asylum seekers, and we're giving them money for rent, money for food, money for health care, money for education to go to our schools, because there is a process. And immigration can be beneficial if you understand how it works within the United States of America or even abroad. Immigration can be very, very beneficial to our country. But how can we then do the thing that's best for us if on the other end of the spectrum, we're making the entire country a sanctuary country for people that can just walk in here and do whatever it is that they want to do? That's crazy. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy.
The reason for that.
The U.S. implemented a country cap of 7% for green cards, which means H-1B visa holders born in highly populated countries like India and China are experiencing lifetime waits.
75% of the people who are on H-1B visa in the US were born in India. Majority of Indians suffer by this wait time a lot. They can never get permanent residency in their lifetime.
In 2023, the backlog reached a record high, with 1.8 million people waiting, and 1.1 million of those people came from India. With the grim path to permanent residency, a lot of H-1B tech workers are exploring their options.
H-1Bs were moving to Canada, applying on their own for the permanent residence and doing it since I started, 20 years ago.
Now, somebody give me some insight, because I don't know, so I'm just asking a question. Somebody give me some insight. Is Canada having the same immigration problem as the United States of America when it comes to asylum seekers? Is Canada having the same immigration problem as the United States when it comes to asylum seekers? Do they only go up to Chicago and New York, and do they stop there? Or do they continue to go all the way over into Canada to try to get a bag over there? Just curious.
Highly educated foreign national is really at the mercy of the U.S. employer.
Big tech companies account for a large amount of H-1B visa approvals. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta accounted for over 60,000 approvals in the last 2 years. But all of these companies, except for Apple, underwent major layoffs in the past year, leaving H-1B visa holders in limbo.
So I got affected with the recent tech layoff that is going on. And per the US immigration rules, you have up to 60 days to leave the country. You have to gather your everything, and if you don't have anything to you have to leave the country.
Originally from Ghana, Onoche moved to the U.S. in 2019 on a student visa. He received a bachelor's and master's degree in material science and engineering. After being laid off from Migrant earlier this year, he transferred his H-1B visa status to a visitor visa while searching for his next step.
I'm still looking for jobs in the US. It's not easy. Even so now companies are still laying off, so it's kind of a bit difficult.
From October 2022 to April 2023, approximately 50,000 H-1B holders lost their status due to unemployment, and 12,500 of these workers did not transfer to another legal status, meaning they had 60 days to find a new sponsor or potentially face deportation. Then, on June 27, 2023, this happened.
Over the course of this year, Canada is going to be developing a specific stream for some of the world's most highly talented people that will be able to come to Canada to work for tech companies, whether they have a job offer or not.
And on July 16th, Canada opened visa applications for a pilot program that would allow up to 10,000 H-1B visa holders in the U.S. to apply for a 3-year open work permit in Canada.
This is unprecedented. Never heard of any similar program in the past.
And the program was a huge success, reaching its 10,000 capacity on the first day. But this pilot program is only one part of Canada's tech talent strategy, a larger multi-year plan to recruit the world's top tech talent.
So ideally, what Canada is doing is Canada is basically in a competition with the United States of America and the rest of the world, but let's just say the United States of America because they're our neighbor. They're in a competition with the United States of America to get the best and the brightest, while it seems as though we're in a competition with the rest of the world to just become an insane asylum instead of an asylum-seeking nation. We are becoming an insane asylum. We are on a race to the bottom just so that we can keep certain people in power, and we are not actually doing anything that allows for us to be able to compete on a global scale, except for continue to bring people into the country for low-wage jobs. And it's unfortunate. Canada is in a competition, and they want the best and the brightest, and they're starting to recruit people as a result of it. And then they're giving them options, and they're giving them opportunities over into their country. And we just out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool, and we dumb. We out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool, and we dumb. And so they taking the best and brightest that's then being laid off over here, and then they're recruiting them over into Canada and making it easier for them to continue to make money and become citizens over in that place.
There's been an unprecedented labor shortage in Canada. The tech field is growing, and the labor shortage is...
And the best way to fill a labor shortage is what? If you don't want them, we'll take them. If you don't want them, we'll take them. The best way to fill a labor shortage is just take what somebody else didn't want and turn it into lemonade, basically.
And significant in that specific industry for years and years. So that's why the focus is really to be able to provide the businesses in Canada and the economic situation in Canada, the economic immigrants it needs based on their skills, basically.
Canada's tech market has grown 15.7% since 2020,
That's
outpacing the U.S., which grew at 11.4%. The country now has 1.1 million tech workers, which makes up 6.5% of the workforce.
And they're going to be paying taxes.
CBRE study found that Toronto and Vancouver rank inside of the top 10 tech cities in the U.S. and Canada.
And you know the interesting thing about that is that the value of their property continue to skyrocket. The cost of living continues to skyrocket, but they're embracing it. They're embracing it because they actually need to build up their population in the first place, and they don't want a brain drain. And so as a result, they continue to reinvest in their people instead of continuing to torpedo things based off of the taxpayers paying overpaying in taxes and not getting nothing in return for their money. Listen, family. Listen. In order for us to become successful, Canada is super expensive. In order for us to become super successful, we're going to have some gnashing of the teeth, in my opinion. Like, we got to have a reset. We literally need a reset in this country. We need a reset in this country, but first we need a reset in our lives. And we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You're going to suffer in the long run. You got to rip off the Band-Aid. And address your shortcomings. Not like Will Smith, but you definitely need to address your shortcomings. Real talk. If you look at your personal life and you really take inventory of it and you say, where am I at and where do I want to be? When I have a conversation with people a lot of times, I force them. I don't let them skip by it. I don't let them gaslight me. I force them to have an uncomfortable conversation with me. And it's okay because it's just me on there. And at the end of the day, you're the only person that got to go to sleep with yourself. I force them to have an uncomfortable conversation with me about what they want in life. Very rarely do we have a conversation about what we want in life and we have it in truth. Most times, we just be out here living a life that somebody else presented to us instead of really taking inventory of what we want out of life. One thing that I know for sure, though, and this is real, one thing that I know for sure is that everybody want to be rich. I'm going to bring it back around for you. Everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to be successful. That's why everybody is playing the lottery. You virtually have no chance, I mean 0 chance of winning the lottery, but you still play it with the hope that you're going to be successful instead of being intentional about what success looks like to you. Everybody want to be rich. Nobody want to do the work. Everybody wants to be rich. Nobody wants to do the work. And that has become the spirit of who we are as a people. Think about it. Because it's not just in one area of your life, it's in every area of your life. The American dream isn't even the American dream anymore, because the American dream is that you can work hard and become whatever it is that you want. Now we've removed the work hard part. And it's applicable in every other space of your life. I'll give you an example. Some of you are in a relationship that you really don't want to work because you think that it's greener on the other side. You think the grass is greener on the other side. You already got them. You already got them. You already there. And so instead of you working on, and I see this with companies a lot of times, and I'm very, very disappointed in them. Instead of you working on what you have and then leveraging that and getting the most out of it by participating in your own success. Shout out to my dog, Orlando Minor. I got to give props where props is due. I got to stop what I'm saying in order to give props where props is due. Let me give a shout out to my dog, OM, running it up. Shout out to my dog, OM. Shout out to you in the chat, big dog. But instead of us doing a thing in our own best interest, we always want to go and see where it's greener on the other side. And that's what people do in their jobs. They jump. And they never, ever stick with something long enough to actually make it work for them. They never going to get a promotion. They never get the skill set. They never actually understand what's required of them so that they can then get the experience under their belt in order to be able to level up. It's the same thing with school. You go to school not necessarily to get an education, not necessarily to allow for yourself to get an opportunity. You go to school in order to party, and then that's why you pick the degree program that you get into. And then as a result of it, you wind up going into something easy just to say you got a degree or that you went to school, but you're not actually leveraging the opportunity that's in front of you. Very few people leverage the opportunity that's in front of them. Very few people leverage the opportunity that's in front of them. And you continue to build up these habits, and then it extends into every area of your life. It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that I have everything together when it comes to my relationship, that I have everything together when it comes to my finances, that I have everything together when it comes to my presentations, that I have everything together when it comes to corporate America, that my businesses are thriving. And then people say, well, Anton, you got lucky. I didn't. I created my own luck, and I was very intentional about how it is that I went about doing it. Everything that I did was strategic. I reverse engineered of what I wanted my life to look like. I reverse engineered of the life that I wanted my daughter to have. Basically, I started at the end goal, and then I started to say, okay, well, if I want this, and I want my lifestyle to be this, and I want this, and I want to travel here, and I want these cars, and I want to be able to live off of this amount of money per month, this is what it's going to take me. And then I reverse engineered, and then I said, okay, well, these are the milestones that I have to hit along the way in order to hit that goal. And then I can measure myself against it in order to figure out whether I'm on track or I need to speed up whatever the process is in order to get there faster. But very few people are intentional. And so all y'all do is pray and hope and wish and then ask for success, when even faith itself is nothing without works. Faith is dead without works. The works is the thing that actually show that you have the faith of a mustard seed for God to even be able to come in and then add value into whatever it is that you're doing, multiplying whatever it is that you're doing and giving you the success to go along with it. But all you do is pray. You're not looking to become the thing that you're looking to attract. You pray for a good man, but you're not worthy of him. And so you just hope that God send a savior, sending Superman in to come save you. You hoping to hit the lottery. You hoping that the federal government give you some form of a reparation. You hoping to get into real estate. You hoping to start your own business. You hoping to do the thing that's supposed to be good for you. But in reality, you ain't doing nothing. All you doing is talking. You don't even know if God hear you. You praying every day, begging. You ain't even praying no more. You just beg. Oh, Lord. Sweet Jesus in the sky, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. You hear me, God. I've been begging you for the past 20 years. Well, he just told you your answer. He sent you your answer. I came onto the live stream. You skipped right over what it was that I was telling you because you didn't want to hear what I say. Well, God sent me to you to deliver a message. He told me to tell you that your finances is fucked up. Your relationship is shit. The people that you surround yourself with don't have your best interests at heart. You then continue to skip out on all of the things and all of the opportunities that's before you and you fumbling it and then you blaming somebody else for your problems. I am the answer to your prayer. And it's not just me. It's all of the little things that come along in your life that then give you the incentive or the insight and the understanding that helps you become more successful. You'll walk right past the library and you go right into the strip club. You are blessed to be in this country. You are blessed to have the opportunities to go to some of the universities that you go to. You are blessed to be in the presence of some people that can add value into your life. And instead of you seeking mentorship, instead of you picking up a book, instead of you being intentional, instead of going to that party, you felt like you deserved to go to the party, but instead you decided that you should have been studying, but you decided that you wanted to go to the party. Instead of doing that, and now you want to blame the system for your shortcomings and your downfalls. You always want to take a shortcut. Shortcut Bob. Shortcut Bob is always taking shortcuts right on down to the same space. Man, I know people that have started probably literally hundreds of businesses in their lifetime, and ain't not one of them been successful because they never stuck with none of them in order to get to the success. Whatever's hot at the moment, that's what business they start. Oh, everybody is selling bundles right now. Okay. So now you selling bundles. Everybody is doing the little machine where they have where it circle around you and they be dancing on there and they're doing a 360 on it. So now you go and get a machine. You was a rapper at one point. Everybody just doing stuff. You just moving. You ain't even going nowhere. You just running real fast and ain't even going nowhere. Yeah, they wanted to get into trucking, and then they jumped into Airbnb, and then they was wholesaling, and then they bought this course, and then they started a YouTube channel, and they never stuck with that either, and they just be doing stuff. They just doing stuff. Had 30 different jobs and 30 different days, and they made $1 as a result of it. And then it was an Uber driver, and then they was going to start their own limousine company, and then they decided not to do it, and then they was going to open up a club, and then he opened up a restaurant. When you going to finish something? Now you're a food reviewer because you seen Keith Lee over in Atlanta. When you going to finish something? You always got a finesse. You always got something that you trying to do. When you going to finish something? Finish something. Even if it fail, finish it. See it all the way through. See it all the way through. Everybody got a good business idea, but ain't nobody ever did nothing. Ain't got a business plan. Ain't got no funding. Don't even know how to start one. Don't even know that you already a business as a sole proprietor before you even decide to I'm going to open up you already a business. You don't even have to file for one. You're already a business as a sole proprietor. Any money that you make in addition to whatever it is that you make on your job, you then have to file a Schedule C as you are a business and you don't even know it. You don't need no S Corp, C Corp, LLC. You don't need none of that. You just need to get to fucking work and we'll figure out how to put you together afterwards. I'm going to get me government contracts. I'm going to get into trucking. Hey, what happened to that trucking, fam? Oh, man, that wasn't what I thought it was. I'm going to be a day trader. Just doing stuff. Ain't never actually finished it and expecting everything to happen for you, but it's not intentional about how you go about doing anything. Ain't never stuck with anything long enough for it to make it work for you. Won't even stick in your relationship. Person hopping. Dick hopping. Hey, what happened to that last guy that you said was a good guy that you thought that you was going to marry? He wasn't what I thought he was. I got a new guy, though. All right. Hey, what happened to the new guy? Tomorrow you're going to talk to him. Hey, what happened to the new guy? You know what? He had this toxic masculinity. Okay, cool. But I met another guy. Met him in the same place. Oh, it's his friend. Oh, okay. What happened to that guy? You know what? I think he gay. Oh, okay. What happened to the other guy that you got married to? Honestly, I know women that got so many divorces. You the problem. You are the problem. You the problem. That's all it is to it. It ain't the government's fault. It ain't the people's fault. It ain't nobody's fault but your own. You the problem. We got to wake up, man. We got to wake up. If you want different, then you're going to have to do different, and you're going to have to pivot and start doing the thing that's in your best interest. Nobody going to come to save you. I know you're looking for the hot industry. All of y'all keep trying to tap in with me. Anton, what course should I take in order to hurry up and get into this industry that you just mentioned? You don't want a career? You just want to get a course. You course hopping now. That's the hot new thing. Hey, man, you know what? We can do these courses real quick in order to do it. Got no ability to be able to stick with nothing. You don't even know how to finish a book that you started. Keep starting and stopping on a book. Starting and stopping on the podcast. Starting and stopping it when it comes to an audio book. Keep moving to city. Hey, they got new jobs over here. Hey, it's popping in Houston. It's popping in Atlanta. Fam, it's been popping wherever it is that you at right now. Stick with something long enough to actually make it work for you. Whatever it is that you do, become a master of it. And then you can move on to something else. But finish something. Finish something. Keep on working on your house. Got multiple different projects. You ain't finished the flooring. You ain't finished the siding. You ain't finished even making your breakfast. You only make one part of the meal that you said that you was going to make. Missing ingredients. You just a missing motherfucker. Everything about you is just missing. And then want to get mad at me. Anton, you just got lucky. No, my nigga. I stuck down for 20 years. I've been with my chick for 20 years. What you expect for me to not be successful? I stuck with it through the good, through the bad, through the broke, through the money, through everything. And now I get to the other side of it. You thought that you was just going to wake up and be able to find the same chick as me? No. I stuck with it and I groomed her into being what it is that she is today. She decided that she wanted to stick with this in order to make it work for her. She the beneficiary of her loyalty and her greatness and her dedication on what it is that we building. You don't get it yesterday. Everybody want to get rich quick. Everybody want to find a spouse quick. Everybody want to get with somebody real quick. You're not going to find it that way. That's not what success look like in any capacity. It don't look like that in your relationships. It don't look like that in your career. A doctor had to go to school. All of this school, all of this residency, all of this grinding. A content creator had to grind for years. I don't know no content creators that just made it overnight. Even Kevin Samuels himself, he left up all of his old videos in order to show you where the grind came from. These dudes been playing for years. These experts that play on these video games, oh man, I play video games because there's people that make money from it. No, these dudes live and die by it. Every day you competing against people that don't sleep. Last night I got off the live stream at 1:30 in the morning. I went to sleep and I got back up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We don't sleep. I know they keep telling you, hey, man, just go to work every day, work your 8 hours, and then get some passive income. That ain't how it works. Let me tell you something. Do you know what it takes in order to get to $2 million? Do you know what it takes in order to get a net worth of $2 to $3 million in order for you to get that passive income, that 4 to 6% that you're going to get every year? And then every year, you're not going to get 4 to 6%. You're going to have some down years where you ain't making what you thought that you was going to make. What you going to do, draw off the principal? Huh? You know how long it takes for these people to actually study and understand what it takes in order to be a successful investor? You know how long it takes for something to be able to pay off for you? You know what compound interest really is? Huh? You know how many books some of these people read? You know how long these people studied in order to become an anesthesiologist, a doctor, a surgeon, a neurosurgeon, and you think that you're just supposed to wake up and walk up and do the same thing that they do. You know what? How people have mastered their relationships, the ability to be able to communicate effectively, how to talk to somebody, how to learn what it is that they talk about, and then take that and translate it into something that you can use that then allows for you to be able to pour into other people. You know how much dedication and reinvestment that you got to make when you start a restaurant, when you start a business? You know what it takes in order to be a master of the Bible or whatever it is, spirituality that you're a part of? You know how long it takes for that guy to be able to build himself up to, or in order to be in a competition, how much fasting he got to do, how much he's changed his diet, whatever it is that he dedicated himself to in order to go to the gym every day. Somebody become a scientist, a neurosurgeon, a software engineer. They've put in their 10,000 hours. They've been developing overnight. They sleeping cold, and you just supposed to wake up and be them. You him, huh? You ain't got 10,000 hours and nothing except for sleeping every day and whining and complaining about why somebody ain't giving you something. Listen, you fighting for reparations for something you ain't even personally ever been in, and you want to sit here and have a conversation talking about what you deserve. You standing on the shoulders of giants and ain't did nothing for nobody except for destroy your own community and drive up on your grass and park on your mama lawn, and you fumbled your mother's house that her grandmother left her, and you sold out your community, but you're going to sit here and have a conversation with us about gentrification. You are a toxic person, and at some point, you're going to have to wake up and realize that you the problem, and in order for you to get over there and be part of the solution, it ain't going to take passive income. It's going to take working your ass off. You know what work is? Work is driving yourself almost to insanity in order to purify yourself. That's why he says be pure as gold, because that means that you've been through the fire. You can't even reign with God unless you suffer with him. So why do y'all keep listening to people that keep telling y'all it's an easy way or a shortcut to do it when you're not willing to suffer in order to be able to get there? And everything you do, you gotta suffer. You gotta grind. You gotta go get it. You gotta hustle. You gotta be willing to take losses. You gotta be willing to brush your pants off and get up. If you a fighter, if you a boxer, I don't know any of them, including Floyd Mayweather. Look at his record. He lost in the Olympics. Before he became 50-0 as a professional, he lost in the Olympics. You have to grind. You have to hustle. You got to work. You don't become a man without suffering first. You have to go through it if you want it, because ain't nobody going to give it to you. And there's people every single day. They waiting to take your spot. They want your wife. They want your spouse. They want your kids. They want everything. They want your position. They would kill and die, not for your stuff, but for the opportunity to take it from you, because they know you weak enough to give it to them, and you can't stand next to them. And that's why I ain't worried about what nobody's saying. I ain't worried about what other people is doing. I ain't checking for what no content creators has got going on, because I'm my own monster, and it ain't nobody that can do what I do, because I put in my hours every day. Every day we go and get it. You know why they fear me? You know why we the most dangerous group on the face of this earth? Shout out to the Chasers. You know why they fear us? You know why they fear us? Because we coming for them and they see us in the rear view, and it's nothing that they can do as far as stopping us from overtaking them and taking a spot. They got there based off of timing. We got there based off of hard work. It's a difference. You got lucky, and you not going to be able to hold on to your spot with luck. You got lucky and got that girl. Even if you found her at a time when nobody was checking for her, she gonna grow into something that everybody gonna want, and you don't know how to keep her. You can't keep your man because you don't realize that the dating process started when you got married, not when you started having a conversation about what y'all want from each other. You can't keep him. He already outgrowing you when you're not growing with him. You can't even hold on to the thing that God gave you, because it ain't a blessing. It's going to become a curse because you don't know what to do with your talent. You have not nurtured it. You have not went into the mire. You have not mastered what it is that your craft is. You can't keep something that ain't for you because I'm coming to take it from you. You can't have it. It's already mine. Everything that you ever wanted in your life, I'm coming to get it. I want everything. I want your audience. I want your money. I want the people that work for you to work for me. I want your editors. I want the people that believed in you realize that you ain't the man that you said that you was, because I'm coming to get it. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. It's nothing that you can do about it, because I don't sleep. And so when you sit here and you want to have a conversation about what is and what's not, I'm going to show you. I don't want nothing from you. Don't give me nothing. Don't give me no handout. Don't give me nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm coming for your spot. I'm coming to take every single thing that you ever had, and I am going to destroy it. I'm going to take it from you. I'm going to destroy it. The same way that they did in the Bible. When you went over and you destroyed another tribe, God said, don't take their women, don't take their kids, don't take their stuff, don't take their idols. Just destroy everything that they have, and we're going to build a whole new regime over here. We're not coming for your stuff. We're going to destroy your stuff. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. Every day there's somebody that's competing against you, whether you know it or not. You can get comfortable. You can think that it's sweet. You can think that it's awesome. But I'm just telling you, somebody is always competing for your spot. Somebody is always competing for your spot. They always hiring at the job in order to get somebody to replace you. That's why they always offering buyouts to the people that's 55 years old and older. What you think, that they're going to go off and get another job if they ain't got no skill set? They just sat in that job in that same place getting comfortable for the whole time, and they're going to die broke. That's a fact. Most of y'all, on average, do not have $50,000 to your name when you retire from your job. You're going to die depending on the federal government to feed you. Or you can do it a little bit differently. You can do it my way. But it ain't going to be easy. And it ain't no magic pill that come along with it. We accountability partners. We live our lives like an open book, and we're going to get to that bag. And all of the rewards and the accolades, the women, the money, the success that comes along with it. I seen a girl respond to a video. Somebody sent me a video that a girl responded to me. I did a reaction video to her content, right? And it was a reaction video to a guy that was sipping out for her. And it bothered her so much that she did a response TikTok, and it said, she listed all of her accolades and what she got for a living and all of that other type of stuff, right? And it was so funny. It just tickled me. I thought that it was hilarious. My wife seen it because she wrote, if this is how he treat his wife after 20 years, and she laughed her ass off. She laughed and laughed, and then she stayed in her femininity, and she went to sleep, and she woke up this morning looking out on the lake, water as far as her eyes can see, went and got in her new S-Class, drove my daughter to school, came back, went over into the office of wherever it is that we get our permits for, and she went over there and filed for new permits for a new property that she's bought. You can't compete with me. I'm not even close to where I'm going to be. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get up out of here for the day. Brock in the building says, I got this early love offering for you, big dog. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you. Thank you, Brock. Demetrius Shaw's in the building says, we need that sales training, Ant-Man. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. David Simpson says, I got that fireball for you, big dog. Thank you, David Simpson. Aaron says, Anton just found out that I can get an extra certification in my MS Engineering management program, Biotech, Bioptics, Innovation, and Data Science Thoughts. Get it. Absolutely get it. Why wouldn't you get it? If you can use it to level up and continue to run the bag up, then you can. I'm going to read yours, Dr. D's, in a minute. I'm going to get there. I'm going to say that one for last. Cartez Cookie says, you just gave a valuable free mentoring session. They don't know. They don't know. They just listening and they bothered by it instead of letting that burn their soul. Jones FX 426 says, got chills. Sometimes God is going to talk to you. It's going to talk to you. Enforcer 2K9 says, it's not really racial gentrification. It's pushing the trash out of the neighborhood. The real problem is we associate trash with being black. I associate trash with being trash, big dog. Illuminati 36, bro, snapped. Shout out to you, big dog. 187 in the building says they hate us because they ain't us. Thank you, my friend. Yvette, my girl Yvette. Shout out to Yvette. Says this is the Anton I love. Hi, Rita. And then Jamar Sullivan says, this is my first super chat. You cooking, my guy. Shout out to you. Let me make sure that I acknowledge the big dogs in the building. Shout out to my dog, Dr. Deese, with the 50 ball. Says, I'm just coming through to show some love. I'm just coming. Listen, I never asked for the support, but you guys see value in what it is that we do over here. Remember, love each other. As you love yourself, but you need to love yourself first so you can know how to love each other. Be selfish before you selfless. Thank you, Dr. Deese. Be selfish before you selfish, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You can't help anybody if you can't help yourself first. And then always do the thing that's in your best interest. Your best interest, because you got to get the needle out of your own eye before you can go over there and hold somebody else accountable. I love you. I appreciate you. Remember, tomorrow we are doing it around the same time, around 12 p.m. Eastern, between 12 and 12:30. I got a presentation that I got to do at 11. I might take some questions after that. But between 12 and 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we going to get it popping, all right? I love you. I appreciate you. I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Thank you, everybody that continues to show up. After tomorrow, we go back to our regularly scheduled program, but the same time tomorrow, we're going to get started a little bit after 12 o'clock. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to check in with y'all tomorrow. Peace. Reading all the Cash Apps tomorrow. Anybody that sent anything extra, I'm definitely going to read all of the Cash Apps tomorrow. Thank you, Yvette. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.